afternoon, teachers and students, and welcome back to another episode of the SCSD News. Another week has come and gone for the Scott County students, so here are some highlights of what happened at each school last week.
Starting with Lake, the high school administration presented staff awards to celebrate Faculty and Staff of the Year. Teacher of the Year was awarded to Band Director Anthony Wilson. Staff Member of the Year was awarded to Secretary Stephanie Bowles, and Parent of the Year was awarded to Ashley Beavers. Further celebrating staff success, the Jake Nestor's Heart of a Hornet Award was awarded to Mr. Tevin Robertson. This is quarterly awarded dedicated to recognizing individuals who embodied the spirit, passion, and dedication of Coach Nestor. Congratulations to those that were awarded these prestigious awards.
So moving over to Scott Central, the school administration also presented staff awards to celebrate their teachers and paraprofessionals of the year. Ms. Shonda Matheny was awarded the Elementary Teacher of the Year, and Mr. Walter Patrick was awarded the Secondary Teacher of the Year award. Both teachers have provided many years of dedication to the Scott County School District. Ms. Marla Caston was awarded the Elementary Paraprofessional of the Year award, and Ms. Pamela Banks was awarded the Secondary Paraprofessional Year of the Award. Congratulations to everyone who celebrated for their dedication and hard work.
Seniors from Sebastopol High School had the opportunity to tour Mississippi State University. They had the opportunity to tour the campus and several buildings on campus. They were also presented with information on enrollment and scholarship opportunities.
At the STEAM Academy, they had held their very first SCSD LEGO League tournament. LEGO League is part of the FIRST robotics program, helping grow future engineers and get them involved with the robotics program. Each bot is built and catered to complete various missions on the field. All teams were in strong competition, but Morton did come out on top with a score of 190 points. Here's a video to recap the tournament. The Little LEGO League teams from each school will be traveling to Vicksburg this week to compete in the regional competition.
That's it for what happened last week. Now let's hear about what happened last week in sports.
My name is Chris McClendon, and this is your sports update. Starting over at Morton, basketball teams faced off against Newton on December 2nd. Both teams came out on top, with the boys scoring 83-64 and the girls scoring 44-31. The girls basketball team faced off against Blunt on the 6th, winning with a score of 56-20. On December 4th, the soccer teams faced off against Newton County. The girls lost with a score of 7-0, and the boys lost with a score of 1-0. At Sebastopol, basketball teams faced off against French Camp Academy on the 5th, December the 5th. Both teams came out on top, with the girls scoring 54-4 and the boys scoring 56-32. Moving over to Lake, basketball teams faced off against Pisgah on December 2nd. The girls fell short with the score of 58-38, and the boys came out on top with a score of 49-43. Both teams then faced off against Newton County on December 5th. The girls lost with a score of 58-37, and the boys lost with a score of 75-45. Last but not least, the Scott Central basketball teams faced off against French Cap Academy on December 2nd. Both teams came out on top, with the boys scoring 48-34 and the girls scoring 52-10. On December 4th, the teams were back in action against Clarksdale, while the boys lost with a score of 50-31. The girls came out on top with the score of 44-17. Finishing out the week, the teams faced off against forwards. Both teams came out with losses, with the boys scoring 50-33 and the girls scoring 38-19. That is it for this week's sports report. Now, let's hear about this week's weather.
My name is Michaela, and this is your weather for this week. Today, the highs was 49 degrees, and tonight the temperatures will drop to a frigid 35 degrees. Tomorrow, the temperatures will reach a high 51 degrees, but the temperatures will drop again to 35 at night. Wednesday and Thursday, it will be sunny with the highs reaching the high 50s and the low 60s, while the lows stay in the upper 30s. Friday and Saturday, it will be even warmer with the highs being in the upper 60s. On Sunday, it will be partly cloudy with the temperatures reaching a high of a 58 degree and a low 35 degree. That's it for this week's weather.
Hey guys, I'm Ella.
And I'm Isabella, and we're coming back for your joke of the week.
Hey Isabella, what do firefighters put in their soup?
I don't know, what do they?
Firecrackers. Here's what's happening across the district this week.
Starting with Lake, the high school basketball teams will be competing against the Pisgah Dragons at Pisgah starting at 6 p.m. On Wednesday, December the 10th, there will be a FCA meeting in the gym. JV basketball will play against Clarksdale on December 11th. Closing on the week, the high school basketball teams will face off against the Sebastopol starting at 6 p.m.
Over at Sebastopol, the junior high basketball teams will face off against Leake County at 5 this afternoon. Tomorrow, December 9th, writing benchmarks will take place and the band will have their Christmas concert at 6 p.m. On December 11th, the high school basketball teams will face off against Pisgah at Pisgah starting at 6 p.m. Closing out the week on the 12th, the basketball teams will be playing against Lake at home starting at 6 p.m.
Tonight at Scott Central, the band will be performing their Christmas concert at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, on December the 9th, the high school basketball teams will face off against Lee County at Lee County starting at 6 p.m. Finally, on the 11th, the basketball teams will be back in action against Union at Union starting at 6 p.m.
Finally, at Morton, the basketball teams will face off against Florence at Florence starting at 6 p.m. The basketball teams will be back in action tomorrow, December 9th, at Pearl starting at 6. The soccer teams will also face off against West Lincoln tomorrow starting at 5 p.m. Friday, December 12th, there will be benchmarks for Algebra 1 at BMJ. The basketball teams will also be headed to Leake County Friday afternoon. Games start at 6 p.m. On Saturday, the boys basketball will face off Pontotoc at 1:15. The ACT will also be taking place on the 13th, starting at 8 a.m. That's it for this week's episode of SCSD News. We have one more episode next week before the Christmas holidays, so make sure you tune in. Until then, thanks for watching, and remember,
These are your stories, your schools, and your news.